And in the same respect, the Batman 66 line you're doing is showing the same kind of innovation as the Superpowers line. You've got new characters, you've got characters that were never on the show, but it's fun to see what they would look like if they were.
Yeah, because at some point you run, like again with Batman 66, you run out of the core, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so you're just going, well, what if? Right now you're doing a little bit of what if, but it's a fun line. That's a fun line to experiment with too. So we're having, and again, I was a big fan of that TV show, so I kind of get a kick out of those figures because those are the kind of toys that I was collecting when I was a kid. I'm going to show my age, right? So I was like, man, I would have bought these if I was 8 or 10 years old, man. So
I had the Migos, back in the day.
Yeah, right, sure, yeah.
So and now you've moved into doing the statuesque, the Marvel kind of figures in the 2 size scales. So you're doing, you got DC, you got Marvel. Did you ever foresee a day where you had, you're making your stuff and you're making DC, Marvel movies? I mean, did you ever see it getting to this level?
Every day I was in the toy business, I was hoping I'd get to that. It just took me 25 years to finally get there. So I don't give me credit. I took the long path to get there. Because
that's okay.
It seemed like everybody else in the industry had a piece of both those brands except for me. There were 3 brands, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It seemed like everybody, when I go to Toy Fair every year, everybody's got a piece of at least one of those, except for me. I felt like an orphan every year. We were fortunate enough to be able to get the DC piece of it in 2020, began in 2020. And then, the conversation with Marvel started as silly as, because they just keep shaving and coming up with categories.
Right.
So, my silly approach to them was, I understand you don't want to trip over existing properties and you don't want to water it down or whatever, but I'll create a new category for you. McFarlane Toys making art by Todd McFarlane, and McFarlane owns the McFarlane company, and McFarlane will sign the McFarlane stuff. You can't replicate that with anybody else.
Exactly,
so,
right.
So it would be its own little piece, and you won't trip over anybody else's contract, right? But they were kind enough. They went, yeah, that sounds cool. Because I thought at first it would just be, I'd have to do like basically only sort of stuff that was based on my artwork during my time at Marvel. But then they opened up the doors wider than that and said, here, you can take a look at our entire library if you want. And I was like, wow, that was way more than I thought. So thank you. So now I get to do, modern hot artists. I get to do some of my peers, and I get to do some of the people that inspired me when I was a young artist, just breaking into the business.
That's incredible. I cannot wait to see what comes next from that line.
And if you got DC and Marvel, I'm crossing my fingers for Star Wars or Hasbro. It needs some new blood in Star Wars. I'm like, just the same thing over and over.
We would love to see what McFarlane would do with Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, but again, to sort of tip my hat to the big companies, they do serve a tremendous value in that they're everywhere and they can blanket a planet, right? They have tens of thousands of people and hundreds and hundreds of offices spread around. And so the art part, I agree at times falls a little short for me. But they get it in front of consumers. And so, right, nobody's going to, like, I can deliver art. I think I can deliver art better than them by far. But I'm not going to have the reach of, if you go into Spain, that they're going to be able to figure out how to get it in a few more places than I am. So.
Right, definitely.
And you had the fan questions.
Yes, we got fan questions.
Can you take a couple of fan questions for us?
Yeah, we'll wrap up with the fan questions. I picked 5 of hopefully the best ones. Let me give it just a second. I had it all ready to go.
Again, we certainly appreciate you including us in this, taking some time out, while you're signing.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you can sign. Well, I would have been screwed it up. I haven't seen you throw one behind you yet, so I'm guessing you.
No, I've screwed half of them up, and I've been talking to you.
It's our fault if somebody. So if somebody.
I don't know who Tom. I don't even know who Tom McFarlane is. So I'm just like, yeah.
Just write blame Junkman on the back.
I hope you got good muscles on those fingers, because I couldn't sign that many. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, with the new Marvel license, since we just talked about that, will you be able to make posable figures in any other scale?
Yeah, so the license doesn't allow. I'm not doing I mean, I guess it depends on how you're using the word posable. They're fixed poses, right?
Okay, that's right.
So again, we refer to them as Marvel collectibles, right? Because again, there's no articulation or any of that. But within that, like I said earlier, within that license, I have access to anything that they've done in their library, as long as they approve it. And that's a big library going all the way back to 1962, right? So,
and it's more like a piece of art too. When it's a sculpture like that, it's kind of nice. It's an affordable piece of art for the fan.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at, interestingly, if you look at like some of the early stuff I did when we first came out of the gate as McFarlane Toys or early on, most of my stuff was kind of posable, right? I mean, I didn't really have a lot of articulation. That sort of came late in the game, right? I mean, if you look at especially things like all my sports figures, the sports
and movie maniacs,
the movie maniacs and stuff, there were very few moving parts. We were just going for art. I used to call them plastic statues all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're sort of going back to that same method with the Marvel collectibles now, and just go, oh, which pose do we want to use, and what artwork and what influence do we want to do, and what can we add to it, and do we want to pull it from a cover, or do we want to pull it from an interior piece of artwork? Like, what's the coolest thing that we can do? So we're just trying to have a little bit of fun with it, right? Like we did one recently with Wolverine, and I did a Jim Lee one, but we did one that was based on my artwork. I did a cover, I think it was Incredible Hulk 340. It's a close up, kind of like me here. And it's Wolverine screaming, and he's got his blades open, and reflected on the blades is Hulk, right? So we took that and we extrapolated it into a full body, and so now you get like the full Wolverine screaming. But if you look closely on the toy, we painted the reflection of the Hulk and his blades, just like
incredible.
I want to see.
I have not laid eyes on that yet. That is amazing.
Yeah. So again, just fun, goofy stuff that you can do. Sometimes it's something in the background. Sometimes it's something that they're holding. But and then some of them we're trying to do a little bit of black artwork on it, so it has a little bit of an illustrative look to it. Right.
Right.
So,
Okay. Question 2. Will you be making an ultimate set of all the Batman movie Batmobiles?
Oh man, that would be a big box.
Wouldn't it be nice though?
It would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So it would. You know what? It'd be fun because we did sort of the Batman actors, right?
Right. Yeah.
Movies. Yeah. Let me think. I'd have to think about how we could even ship that, and you wouldn't have to basically do an addition to your house to have it. So
yeah,
you did great with the '89 one. So
yeah, they're really good.